Hey guys, welcome to Warp. My name is Cody. Today we're talking about 6 things that will take your band to the next level. We're calling this segment Turning Pro. Let's get started. Alright, what's up everybody? Hey, if you have not done so already, make sure that you like and subscribe for more videos coming out. We're brand new into this whole Warp thing, but we're excited about the future. Warp is not just one guy, it's not just me sharing my knowledge, it's our whole team of friends that do church together every single weekend and week out, just like you. And so there's going to be a lot of contributors. We're going to be talking about video production, stage design, different instrumentation, bass tutorials, drum tutorials, electric guitar stuff. We're going to be talking about vocal techniques and singing. We're going to be talking about service coordinators, pro presenters, software, gear, worship reviews, all kinds of stuff. Make sure that you follow us along on Instagram if you're not already. That's warp_inc. If you know a worship leader, or you know somebody who's a part of a worship band, or maybe you know somebody who does lights at their church, anything like that, help us spread the word by letting them know about it. On today's episode, like I said, we're talking about 6 things, 6 simple things that can take your band to the next level if you're not doing them already. And these 6 things may sound really simple, especially to us who are already doing them, but I'm telling you, there are so many bands out there that I've seen that if they would just do these things, it would jump the production level of their worship. Number 1 is just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I want to introduce a principle that I think is extremely important, and that is taste is greater than technique. When I say just because you can doesn't mean you should, think about it like this. Just because you can name drop in a conversation doesn't mean you should name drop in a conversation, right? Just because you can cook 46 amazing recipes doesn't mean you should cook all 46 when your friends come over. Sometimes I feel like musicians get excited about learning new things and new parts and new techniques that we sometimes can lack the maturity of decision making of when is the proper time to use those things and when is it not. One of my best friends and lead guitar player, Alex Moore, he actually gave me a tip the other day on our Instagram page. He said, it's more about when you don't play than it is when you do play. And so you can have all the technique in the world, but if you don't have the taste to use it, it's worthless. I would much rather have a musician that doesn't necessarily have all the technique, but has great taste, because it's about using the right things to make the song better. And that takes us into point number 2. What's best for the song? What's best for the song? So many times when we sit down and we write a brand new song, we're trying to figure out parts, lead guitar parts, drum parts, all that kind of stuff. It's not about finding something that's fun to play. Like, that's something I feel like I hear a lot from musicians, is that's boring to play that single note. If that's what's best for the song, then do what's best for the song. The song is king. The song is not a platform for you to show off. You are a platform for this song to show off. So when you're at band practice and you're trying to come up with great parts, be thinking like that. What's best for the song? Not what's best for me, not what's fun for me, but what's best for the song. Maybe what's best for the song is I don't play at all. Maybe what's best for the song is that there's no drums until the very end. Maybe what's best for the song is that there's no harmonies, even though I love to sing harmonies. So think, what is best for the song, not necessarily what's best for you. Number 3, musical dynamics. Dynamics. I can't tell you how much I harp on our team about dynamics. When we're talking about dynamics, usually we're talking about loudness and softness in the song, and there needs to be a building and a bringing down and a bringing back up. There needs to be a musical journey. We want to have like these low verses and these big choruses and these building bridges. And so be looking at the dynamics of the songs you play, not just in a loudness and a quietness type of way, but also look at it as in more notes and less notes. Maybe if you're a keys player, maybe on the verses, you're just playing 3 notes. You're playing the 1 and the 5th on the left hand and the 3rd on the right hand. And then when it gets to the chorus, you know, maybe you're playing the full chord on your right hand and octaves on your left hand. Maybe with guitar, you're not just picking stuff, you know, on the chorus, you're playing the lead part, but you're also strumming that in these, you know, worship diamond type shapes. What is the loudest point? Like, that's something that I like to think about, is what is the loudest point of this song? What is the biggest point of this song? And making sure to not show off your cards too early in the game. You want to make sure that, you know, you save that loudest moment for the right time. Number 4, right now it's super popular to have these huge worship teams, which I love. We do that ourselves. We have usually about 12 people on stage every single weekend. You know, back when I first started leading worship, like 15 years ago, you had like 4 people. And that's cool, you know, whatever you're into. A lot of bands not considering is that with every additional person you add, everybody is playing less. So if you have a big band, you need to be playing less notes. And that's a decision you need to make. You know, if you're a power trio, you're playing a lot of notes. Everybody is working together to fill up the sound. But if you have 2 acoustic players and 3 electric players and a bass player and a drummer and a percussionist, everybody's kind of playing less because you don't want it to get too busy. And that kind of goes into my last point of dynamics, of making sure there's space. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have 2 electric guitar players, there's gonna be times where one of you's not playing. And that's just something that you need to accept. You know, being a part of a band is in many ways learning not to be selfish and learning to sit out, because that's what's best for the song, and that's what's best for having a bigger band, allowing more people to play, more people to use their talents. Just realize with every person you add, everybody's playing less. Number 5, determine the leader. Determine the leader. So often there's not a clear leader. I actually had a weekend off a couple weekends ago, and I went to go visit a church. And one of the things that I was looking out for is who's the leader. Like, you need to have a coach, and I feel like as the worship pastor of the church, as the worship leader, you're kind of like a player coach. You're making the calls, but you can't necessarily be the one to tell the band where you're going. You can't be the one all the time to tell the drummer, hey, let's build it up, all that kind of stuff. You can try, but you're distracting while you do it. And so for us, you know, one of the big ways of helping this issue is having a music director, and that's somebody who talks into the microphone, which goes to all of our ears. It's been extremely helpful. A lot of churches do it, but you need to have one person in charge, and you need to trust that one person. You need to have a music director who has a general knowledge of theory and can make game time calls. We do baptism during worship when we have baptism, and there are some times where we've had to add like 3 or 4 extra songs because the line for people to get baptized is not ending. That music director has had to make calls of if we're going to play songs over again, if we're going to play a song we didn't practice. He's going to be calling out the chords. He calls out what chords we end on, and sometimes it can be tempting to not trust them, you know, if they call a certain chord to end on and we don't think that's the right chord to end on. One person needs to be in charge. One person needs to be making those decisions. There needs to be one throat to choke, and that means that the responsibility falls on one person so they can be held accountable for it. Make sure you determine who's making those game time decisions on your team. And the last point, number 6, is click. You need to be playing to a click. If you're not playing to a click right now, you need to play to a click. And I know some of you guys don't have in-ear systems. Some of you guys use floor wedges and you can't have clicks, but you need to be practicing with a click then. You need to be at home practicing with a click. I get so frustrated when I hear that the people think that the click is just for the drummer, or we're doing ear mixes and people are like, hey, take the click out of my ear. One of the things that I stress to our team, to our vocalists, is put the click in your ear. Click is not just for drummer. Click is for every musician and every vocalist. If you can't sing to a click, you need to practice that. That is a foundational musical element. And if you can't learn to sing to a count, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You need to learn to sing to a count. You need to be practicing that. I became really passionate about a click. My roommate in college, he was a drummer, and he used to go to sleep to clicks, and I could hear it on top of my bunk every night, and he was just passionate about being on time. That will take your band to the next level. Something that's really sloppy is timing. Timing sloppiness makes you look incredibly unprofessional. So if you want to turn pro, you want to take your team to the next level, you need to be playing to a click. If you have the functionality, we play to a click every song in our set. A lot of times we're playing to loops, so we have to, but even when we're not playing to loops, we're playing with a click because we want to be together, we want to be on, we want to be tight. So there it is, guys, 6 tips to take your band to the next level. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have suggestions for more tips, please send them my way. You can message us on Instagram or on YouTube. Love to hear what you guys are doing with your teams and what you feel like is really taking you to the next level. And in a couple weeks, I hope to do another tip series of turning pro, taking your band to the next level. Maybe we'll get even more specific on special groups like vocals or drummers or bass players or something. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it. Please, please, please help us get the word out. We want to help more churches being powered to take people into incredible worship experiences. So we'll see you guys next time.